you're Garvey, you've got to be looking one pitch even.
Well, especially if you're Steve Garvey. I said earlier, he's a behind-the-ball hitter. He wants to hit that ball to the right side of the diamond all the time. He waits as long as he possibly can. And now he's got the advantage of having Alan Wiggins on first base. Probably going to get a fastball, and he's got the whole right side of the diamond to work with. I got money. He hits the ball to the right side of the field.
Shot. Fair down the line. This could get a run. Over in the corner in the bullpen. Wiggins around third. He will come on to score. No throw. 2-0 San Diego on the double by Garvey. That's Flannery at third. He represents the tying run. The middle, base hit center field. We're tied at 3.
He went to the right side of second base.
I don't know about this situation here. The Padres cannot ask for anything more. They've got their leading hitter right there getting a base on balls. He had a chance. The Cubs went around him. They've got Steve Garvey coming to the plate, a man that can hit in the clutch. Their leading RBI hitter. He's got 2 base hits tonight already. He's driven in a couple of runs. You can't ask for much more. You can't say they didn't have a chance.
There's a base hit left field. Bobby Brown, kind of a late start, but he's going to come on. The throw coming to the plate. Throw cut off. No play at third. 4-3 San Diego.
Oh, man, it's raining beer. Somebody's happy up there.
Indeed, Steve Garvey with a hot hand tonight.
Here's the pitch. Garvey right on it, doing everything that he can possibly do tonight to keep his team ahead. Matthews had no chance to throw him out at home plate. It's Say, the cutoff man. Say keeps the runner at first.
Hey, Steve Garvey, is that a new cologne you got on?
Yeah, it's from Aqua Velva, and they call it Aqua Cologne. It's every bit as cool and refreshing as their aftershave, and it's got a really long-lasting fragrance. Aqua Cologne, the one cologne that makes a man smell like a man.
You know, Steve, I'm going to try that Aqua Cologne. It will make a big hit with my girl. Come on, throw hard.
Not as big as that hit, my friend.
There's something about an Aqua Velva man.
The 9th inning. That's the story from San Diego. Want to know the count. And, oh, a little slight feint. A little feint. Tony Gwyn, 33 stolen bases on the year.
Well, if Gwyn's thinking about going the way Smith bent that left leg, that can be a tricky one. That's close to a balk move.
Deep right field, way back, Cotto going back to the wall, it's gone! Home run Garvey, and there will be tomorrow!
Bill Buckner has grabbed the bat and would pinch hit next for the young shortstop. He walked it. Gotta hold him right here. That is the first walk surrendered this long game by Atlanta pitcher. Here's Buckner, a popular favorite here. Jorgensen, Murphy, Chambliss, Horner for Atlanta in the 9th. That's why holding him is so important.
Buckner's got a standing ovation here. They like him. He's had a couple of good seasons, but he's been relegated to the bench. The report on Lee Smith. Lee Smith has a strained muscle in his left side, and they don't know whether he'll be available for the second game or not.
Buckner 9 out of 42 with 2 RBIs on the year. You notice that beard. He says he's not going to shave till he plays 2 days in a row. Wherever it is, 0-1, that got Benedict. Knocked the glove right off his hand.
Buckner over the years has hit Braves pitching, always played well against the Braves, even when he was with the Dodgers. And he's kept his composure pretty well. He's a very fiery guy, and he's kind of he really hasn't accepted his role, but he hasn't said much about it.
Hard to say anything when your team's in first place.
I know it.
The 0-1. Fouled back. It's 0-2. He had a good cut at a fastball. In fact, some of the Chicago people telling us Jim Fry has already given us his tentative starting lineup for the second game, which does not have Buckner in it, and that's very unusual. He normally plays one game of a doubleheader, and they wonder if a deal isn't about to be made any second. Well, if it is, it hasn't been made yet, because he's in the batter's box here behind 0-2. Will Bruce have a play? He staggers and has it, 1 out. Now the same people who gave him a standing ovation boo him because he popped out. It's a tough record. Here's Ron Say.
Moving from the outfield to first base, Leon Durham had a tough beginning to 1984. He was greeted by boos because he replaced popular Bill Buckner at first.
Bill Buckner is an outstanding ball player, and with Jim Fry and Dallas Green and them having me to come in from the outfield to play first base, and it was more like their situation. And the fans, they prefer to have Buckner there, but the move was made by the manager and Dallas Green to put me at first. And myself, I feel like it was a big change for me to come back from the outfield back to my natural position. And I was glad that I was able to make the adjustment and was glad to be able to get back to the natural position to play first base.
In putting Durham at first base, there were two main thoughts in my mind. One, Bill Buckner was 33 years old. Bull Durham is 27 years old. The other is that I thought the home run potential out of Durham was far greater than Buckner. Buckner's a fine hitter, we know that, but I thought Bull Durham could be a 300 hitter with maybe 25, 30 home runs.
High fly ball, center, Murphy back, looks up, it is gone! The Bull drives one to the deepest part of the park.
Defensively, Leon Durham was back at his natural position. The Bull has proven to be a solid, steady first baseman, able to pick throws out of the dirt, make the relay to second base, and do it all with the glove.
There's a line drive. Sensational catch! Ground ball. Owen better hurry. Fires. Out on a close play!
All in all, Leon Durham has been a constant spark for the Cubs.
Been here before, a very strange situation to come into town 2-0, all of a sudden you look up and you're 2-2 if you're Jimmy Fry.
There's no doubt about it. The tension, the anxiety you feel is tremendous, and especially after being up 2-0. I was in the 5th game of the World Series, and I was nervous. I mean, the 5th game of the playoffs, and I was nervous. Now, the biggest way that I can relate to Jim Fry's feeling is the fact that the 1979 World Series against the Pittsburgh Pirates, we were up 3-1. We needed that 1 out of 3 to clinch it. The victory never came down, and it was the longest, coldest winter I ever spent in baseball.
And a winter you definitely do not want to spend. And Reggie, it's amazing. You play all this long, all the time, the entire season, one roll of the dice, win it all, lose it all. Don, I've been in this situation before. 5 times in particular playoffs I played in the 5th game, and just 1 time I played a 7th game in the World Series. I was really fortunate those times as a player because I always felt like the teams I was with always had their #1 pitcher on the mound for them. And remember in 1978, Ron Guidry went to Bob Lennon and said, hey, I'd like to have the baseball. He was 25-3. I'm sure that the Chicago Cubs are very confident today because they've got Rick Sutcliffe on the mound. However, if I'm a San Diego Padre, I also know that I have my ace going for me today, Eric Schau. It's a great game. I can't wait to see it. Well, it's going to be a great ball game, and of course we've seen exciting games all the way through. The first 4, the Cubs winning the first 2, and of course the Padres winning the next 2 in a great ball game last night. Right now, let's go to our other colleague, Tim McCarver, down the field. Last night's hero in Steve Garvey.
Hero he certainly was. Rarely in the history of postseason play has a man had 4 consecutive at-bats where he's bared down any harder. 4 pressurized at-bats. 3 2-out RBIs and the big blow in the 9th inning against one of the fine relief pitchers in the league, Lee Smith. Did you sleep well last night?
Very much so, Timmy. And again, it was a pleasure for me to be able to hit the home run. After the game, I said, well,
That was a special one, especially for my daughters, Becky, Trish, and Whitney, and their special mom, because these are the times you like to share them with people, and also with 60,000 people and a great team here. Let's go back to that ninth inning home run against Lee Smith. You see it there in your picture. What pitch was it? It was a fastball. I expected something hard. Lee, again, has great velocity. The ball was out over the plate. It may have been a ball, but I hit it with good backspin. And once it got up in the air, I knew it had a good chance, and Henry went up for it, but I think it went off the wall with a little room to spare. Look at this display of emotion, too. You're like the Padre fans. They don't usually display it. You did, and they have. Well, it's a team effort from the fans to the city to the players here. It's as if we're one. They're the 10th player, and they've risen us to the heights we didn't anticipate reaching. All right. Yeah, how about the umpires? One thing, we have heard that the umpires may be working today's ball game, an asset or a detriment. Oh, gosh, it's always great to have the best in the game, and our umpires have done a fabulous job all the time I've been in the league. The guys that substituted worked hard. I think the fellow that umpired the plate here the last 2 games did a great job. All in all, it's between 2 teams. It's dead even. May the best team win. After 166 ball games, there is only 1 game left for one of these ball clubs. Player introductions will be coming up, and the final game of the season for one of these clubs right after this.
Ladies and gentlemen, good afternoon. We would like to present the starting lineup for the Eastern Division champion Chicago Cubs. First, the manager, number 8, Jim Fry. Leading off and playing center field, number 20, Bob Dernier. Batting second and playing second base, number 23, Ryne Sandberg. Hitting third and playing left field, number 36, Gary Matthews. In the cleanup spot and playing first base, number 10, Leon Durham. Batting fifth and playing right field, number 6, Keith Moreland. Playing third base and hitting sixth, number 11, Ron Cey. Batting seventh and catching, number 7, Jody Davis. Batting eighth and playing shortstop, number 1, Larry Boa. And today's starting pitcher, warming up in the bullpen, number 40, Rick Sutcliffe. And the remaining Chicago Cubs coaches and players. And now, ladies and gentlemen, presenting the starting lineup for the Western Division champion, San Diego Padres. First, the manager, number 23, Dick Williams. Leading off and playing second base, number 2, Alan Wiggins. Batting second and playing right field, number 19, Tony Gwynn. Hitting third and playing first base, number 6, Steve Garvey. Batting fifth and catching, number 16, Terry Kennedy. Playing center field and hitting sixth, number 20, Bobby Brown. Batting seventh and playing left field, number 14, Carmelo Martinez. Batting eighth and playing shortstop, number 1, Gary Templeton. Today's starting pitcher warming up in the bullpen, number 30, Eric Shaw. And the remaining coaches and players of the San Diego Padres.
So the Padres and the Cubs have been introduced. Game number 5 getting underway very shortly, and we'll be right back in San Diego in a moment. ABC Sports presents the National League Championship Series, live from Jack Murphy Stadium in San Diego, California. It's the Chicago Cubs and the San Diego Padres in the 5th and final game for the National League title. We're here with Chub Feeney, the president of the National League. Chub, we understand that there has been a settlement reached in the umpire strike.
Well, there's been a settlement to the point that the parties have agreed to binding arbitration by Peter Uberoth, our new commissioner. And the umpires have agreed to work on that basis. Richie Phillips has agreed to that kind of a binding arbitration with Peter to make the decision, and so here we go.
Obviously, you feel that that's fair?
Well, I think that it's bound to be fair. I would not have wanted anybody else but the commissioner to arbitrate this dispute, but since Peter is commissioner for all sides, it's bound to be fair.
Now there you see the men in blue as they have made their way onto the field. To the roar of the crowd, the ceremonial first pitch will be thrown out by one of the former Padres, Nate Colbert, as he throws it out. The first year, 1969. Colbert was then the first baseman of the San Diego Padres, and the big man has the opportunity to throw it out here this afternoon. But there are your men in blue. Behind the plate will be the veteran John Kibler, another veteran over at first base in Doug Harvey. At second base will be Paul Runge, and at third base will be John McSherry. The 4 men in blue. We understand that John McSherry just got in just in time that Eddie Vargo, one of the supervisors who was on the benches as the Padres picked the field, was ready to move over to third base and move back into active duty if so need be. But McSherry got here, and we will have the National League umpires this afternoon. Earl?
It was one of the first times that the umpires got cheered when they walked on the field.
Yes, sir. As you see, Steve Garvey at first base, last night's hero. Over at second base will be Alan Wiggins. At third base, or shortstop, I should say, will be Gary Templeton, and over at third base will be the veteran Greg Nettles. Carmelo Martinez will be in left field, with Bobby Brown in center field for the injured Kevin McReynolds. Let's look at what happened to McReynolds last night. Here's the play at second base. He not only hits the knee, but then the arm, and he is out. And in right field, the National League batting champion, Tony Gwynn. Behind the plate and doing the catching will be Terry Kennedy. And on the mound, making his second start in this league championship series, will be the opening day pitcher at Wrigley Field, Eric Shaw. On the year, Shaw won 15 and lost 9. Now, we'll just check those umpires for you again. We do have Kibler behind the plate. We noticed that they have rotated just a little bit. It'll be Paul Runge at first base, John McSherry at second base, and then Doug Harvey over third. Now, Eric Shaw in front of a capacity crowd. A warm afternoon here in San Diego. And Reggie, warm afternoons, Major League Baseball can possibly mean one thing.
The ball will travel well. I always like playing warm afternoons. Another thing I liked about playing in the afternoon, especially when it was very, very hot like it is today, it seems like the temperature is approaching right around 85 degrees down on the field, Don. I always thought the pitcher got a little more tired. Earl, what do you think about that?
Oh, I don't think there's any doubt about that, and it was hot on the field. Everybody was sweating down there during batting practice. Just standing around, you could break a sweat.
All right, now let me read you the bulletin that has come out from Bob Weirs from the commissioner's office dated today. And we quote, with the two parties in the umpire dispute still far apart as of this Sunday, meaning today morning,
They asked Commissioner Peter Ueberroth if he would serve as arbitrator in binding arbitration, which would resolve the dispute and return Major League umpires to the diamond. The commissioner has agreed. Some of the basic understandings of this arbitration were worked out today, and the final session will be held Monday in San Diego or Detroit. A condition of the arbitration was that the Major League umpires will work the World Series. So that has to be good news for the players and all baseball, Don. Yes, sir. And we're happy to have them back, and our hats off to the other men that filled in. They certainly did a fine job. As Bob Dernier will lead it off, and we're getting ready to go here in game number 5. There's a strike, and we're underway.
Both managers want to see their pitchers go out there and throw strikes before they do anything else in this ball game. Establish that strike zone.
There's the breaking pitch outside, and the count 1-1. Well, the thing that Xiao talked about in the opening game, even though that he only went the 4 innings, it was that he did not get the low pitch. Well, we'll see what will happen here today. A ball and a strike to Dernier. Foul back out of play. 1-2 the count. Probably 4 hits and 13 at-bats in the series as you look at manager Dick Williams. I would have to think right now there's just a sigh of relief, not only for Xiao, but for Sutcliffe and for every hitter that walks up there.
They both know Kibler, so they know where they have to throw the ball right now.
A 1-2 pitch. Little looper, hit going out is Wiggins, still going out to run it down like a gazelle.
It's a nice play here, Don. Alan Wiggins kept his eye on that ball all the time. Got a real good jump. You see him follow the ball, never take his eye off it, reaches up and pulls it down.
And like you said, even that little one off the handle seemed to carry a little bit, Reggie.
Get another look at it here. Very nice play. I think any little thing that the Padres do is going to excite these people here today, which will work in their favor.
Boy, there's no question about that as Ryan Sandberg stands in. Up high with a breaking pitch, 1-0 the count. Sandberg 5 hits and make that 6 hits and 15 at-bats in the series. A .314 hitter on the year. There's a strike and the count 1-1. See right there, 3 for 32 against Xiao. So Xiao has given Sandberg a problem. All the way to the backstop, 2-1 the count. Sandberg, good speed as you look at Nettles at third. He might be thinking bunt, Reggie.
It certainly looks like it. I know he's got one bunt single off Eric Xiao, and I'm sure that Greg knows that he's had some problems with Xiao. He knows that Sandberg may be thinking bunt.
Shot. Well, look at here. How do you do? Don Zimmer almost fell right over on his back in disappointment. What a rocket.
You're not going to hit him much harder than this. Xiao built high down the middle. As hard as the ball can be hit, Nettles hit. He didn't have a lot of time getting the glove up.
No, he didn't, because he was playing in almost on the grass. He hit that ball a ton. I think Greg might have thought that just to protect his life.
Boy, I'll tell you, that was a rocket. Now there's 2 outs. One a little floater, and the next one a rocket. And there's Gary Matthews. Gary, a .291 hitter on the year. Inside as he looks out at Xiao. And Xiao remembers the first pitch in Chicago when Matthews took him downtown. That might have been a little messy.
It could have been. It was a 92-mile-an-hour fastball. Xiao looks like he might have that riding fastball today that he needs to win.
That's inside. Matthews looking out. That ball is not that close, Reggie.
I don't know about that. I'm a hitter, so I'm going to give you an argument.
Well, if it's close, he should have been laying on his back.
Those pitches right now.
That's a pitcher talking.
There's a strike. 2-1.
I definitely believe he's trying to establish. He's trying to send a message, and he's got Mr. Matthews' attention. That's for sure.
Out of play. The count goes even 2-2.
Well, it might be their pattern because all 4 pitches were inside. The 2 strikes he threw were on the inside half.
And Earl, if you're gonna miss, you want to miss in there. You don't want to miss out over the plate.
Right.
That'll take you downtown.
Hey, why do you guys have to miss inside? Why can't you miss out on the
away. Why you got to miss inside of me?
That's the problem with this game today.
Another one a little bit too far inside, and we're going to have to go to Duke City.
Well, here we go. 2-2 pitch. There's a shot down the left field line. That's why. Hooking foul. You know, I'd have to think, Earl, that this man here has to remind you of a man that played for you and Don Baylor. I mean, just standing there. Part of the toughness at the plate in Matthews, the way he stands in there.
Well, there's one thing we know about Baylor. He will not give an inch. Everybody in the league pitches him inside. He knows it, and he's still going into that ball, and he leads the league in getting hit by pitches every year, but he expects it.
Well, Donnie does expect it. They do not throw at Don Baylor, and the reason they don't throw at Don Baylor is because Don Baylor's about 6'2", 6'3", about 230, and he can go bear hunting in a winter with a switch.
Also, it doesn't bother him. You stay in there maybe, and he gets ahead of that bat around, and it's out of the ballpark.
The 2-2 pitch to Matthews. Look out. That's inside. Full count, 3-2.
Okay, now I can say they're definitely trying to pitch Gary Matthews in. There's no question about it now. First couple of pitches may have been a message, but as we see right here on the replay, they're trying to pitch him inside.
Getting exciting right from the third hitter. First, second, third hitter on.
Rocks him on a slider.
Gary Matthews is no small man in his own right. He's about 6'2", 215 pounds.
And he's aggressive on those base paths, as it'll be Leon Durham to stand in.
Right there, we saw Shaw throw a 3-2 breaking pitch. He didn't do that in Chicago, whereas that's part of Sutcliffe's repertoire.
Matthews with his 5th walk in the series. There goes Matthews. Kennedy throws, not in time. He stole it with ease. Shaw looked like completely forgot about it.
He got a real good jump right there, and Terry Kennedy did not make a good throw. He did not have a good release. Here we can see he's starting to run. He's got 3 steps running already before Eric Shaw gets rid of the baseball. And Terry Kennedy, not a good throw. He hasn't made a good throw yet.
It was completely unexpected. They didn't think Matthews to run in that situation.
Inside, 2 balls and no strikes to Durham.
A lot of times you'll get a player's attention, and I'm sure that everybody has their adrenaline flowing today, but you can dust the guy off and get him fired up just a little bit more.
Blue foul and out of play. Well, if I'm Eric Shaw right here, I got to go at Durham and make him hit my pitch. I can't give in to Durham with first base open and a right-hander. I don't care if it's Moreland hitting on deck or not. I got to go with what I think I can do best.
And his fastball looks like it's jumping today, and the place to pitch Durham is up.
Misses high and a 3-1 count.
Along with pitching Durham up, you also pitch him inside, Earl. You can see it's pretty easy to see where to pitch Leon Durham, although he has had a lot of success. He hangs his plate. He hangs his hands almost out over the middle of the plate. You've got to crowd him and make him rush that bat.
And he rushes that one. Deep right field. Gwyn going back. This ball is gone. Cubs on top, 2-0.
And like you said, Reggie, the ball's flying.
The ball will carry better in the daytime in California. It always has.
Leon Durham homered last night. He homers again here, and the Cubs have a 2-0 lead.
Again, you've got to pitch Leon Durham inside. You see where Terry Kennedy is sitting. That ball tails back out over the middle of the plate. The count is 3 balls and 1 strike. He's looking for a ball to drive to hit fence distance, and Tony Gwyn is just getting a closer look. Souvenir.
Now a happy Chicago bench as that'll bring on Keith Moreland. There's the slider low and away. The count 1-0. And still, there's the classic example. First base open, the only left-hand hitter in the lineup, and you let him hit it. Here's the strike and the count 1-1. That's the 8th Cub home run in the series. That will tie a championship series record.
Don, tell me, you said that you would have went after Leon Durham.
Make him hit my pitch. I don't want to give in to him. That is not Shaw's best pitch. A high sinker up over the plate. Okay. High tailing fastball.
Well, I think he threw it because of the scouting reports. That's what I think. Sometimes you have to do your own thing.
Yeah, I think at that particular point, especially on the counter of 3-1.
Oh, yeah, you can't give in to him. 100% right there.
Just outside, and the count goes 3-1 to Moreland. And you have Ron Say on deck. And we get some action in the Padre bullpen right away. There's Hawkins. He walks it.
What a big pitch Hawkins threw last night. Come back to the mound and take him out of trouble. 2 men on and around.
Double play. There's Dick Williams, so you get Dernier, who has popped to second. Sandberg lined to third. He had 2 outs. He walks Matthews. Durham hits a home run. He walks Moreland. Here's the pitching coach, Norm Sherry, to talk to Shao and also take a little time.
Buy some time is important here. Can't let it get away from you in the first inning.
Now, what's he telling him here right now, Earl? Is he telling him maybe some of his mistakes, or is he just giving Hawkins some time to get ready?
Well, he might be doing something mechanically wrong that they spotted, but more than likely, look, if we're going to win this one, we're going to lose this one. But we can't win it unless you throw the ball over the plate. That's number one. We can't be putting people on base. We have 2 out, nobody on. Base on balls are going to kill you before anything else in the world.
That's exactly right. As Frankie Frisch always said, oh, those base on balls. Here's another look at that Leon Durham home run in super slow motion. It doesn't quite look that fat when it comes up to the plate. It's slowed down so much there, it just looks like a balloon.
Yeah, well, it was, we can see he didn't get it in on the inside half of the plate, and that helped Durham get the bat around.
Yes, it did. Here's Ron Say. Inside to Say. So the book has been keep the ball in on Say, keep the ball in on Matthews if you can. We've seen that through the series. Ronnie 3 for 15 in the series with a home run and 3 RBIs. The Cubs on top 2-0. We're in the top of the first inning. Game just underway. Breaking pitch high. Shao not following through now, throwing right straight up in the air and getting everything up.
Well, those were the mechanics I'm talking about.
That's right.
John can spot him up here. That's what you want your pitcher to. That's what you want your pitching coach to be able to do for you as a manager.
There he comes down through, and he gets the strike. 2-1 the count. Awfully hard to be a sinker ball pitcher and pitch straight up and down.
Well, it's awful hard to be any kind of pitcher and pitch straight up and down.
Right. Little looper as Wiggins will handle this one, and that'll do it. But the Cubs get on the board. 2 runs on only 1 hit, the 2-run homer by Durham. 2-0 Chicago as we go to the bottom of the first inning. And he rushes that one. Deep right field. Gwyn going back. This ball is gone. Cubs on top, 2-0. Now Rick Sutcliffe on the mound, and he has a 2-0 lead. The weight's on his shoulders. Prior to the game, I had a chance to talk to him.
Number one, it's very nice of you to come over here, and our thanks from ABC. Number two, I've always maintained a microphone will not get a hitter out.
Well, Don, you know I've listened to you for the last 11 years now, since my first spring training with the Dodgers, and you know, you're right. This doesn't make a bit of difference. This is just a great opportunity for me. You stop and think about 3 years ago when I got left off the roster, the story couldn't be written any better. I mean, I got an opportunity to put us into the World Series, and I'm just going to go out there and hope to make the most of it.
Your thoughts last night as you put the head on the pillow?
Well, you know, I had mixed emotions. I had hoped and planned on pitching the first game of the World Series, but that's just from, that's all I could do. Sitting on the bench, all I could do was pull for our ball club to win one of the first 2 games out here. That didn't happen. I prepared myself to pitch today. I'm ready. I'm excited. I've had a lot of success against this ball club, and if I go out there and make the pitches, then we'll be in pretty good shape. You know, there's always that human element involved, and you know, only time will tell what's going to happen. But if I was a betting man, believe me, I'd be putting the weight on my shoulders today. I like our chances.
Now the words of Rick Sutcliffe as you look at the Cubs defense. Durham at first, Sandberg at second, Bo at short, and Say at third. Your outfield the same as we've seen. Matthews in left, Dernier in center, Moreland in right. And the battery of Davis behind the plate, and right-hander Rick Sutcliffe on the mound. And he seems to be geared and ready to go.
He seems to be cocky enough. I like the attitude he's got.
really do. He's got a rock him, sock him, charge him, go get him attitude. He believes in himself. And I'm sure when a pitcher walks in the clubhouse like that and walks on the mound like that, his teammates behind him can feel it as well.
Well, I know he'll have his stuff when we get to the first 3-1, 2-0, 3-1, 3-2 count, and he throws that curveball over the plate. Then I'll know that Rick Sutcliffe is going to be tough for the afternoon.
Now, you can see that graphic as the Cubs have lost. Sutcliffe has come on the next day, and he's put a win right on the board. Now, Alan Wiggins will lead it off for the Padres. He'll be followed by Gwyn and then Garvey. Sutcliffe ready to go. Delivers low. The count 1-0. Sutcliffe won the opener. Went 7 innings through 108 pitches and won 13-0. That's low. 2-0. You've got Say coming down the line at third. Durham on the grass at first, and Sutcliffe off of the mound.
And I don't care if you're Rick Sutcliffe or any pitcher in baseball. You got to fight those butterflies to the first hitter.
Oh, you got to. Anybody that says they're not nervous in a situation like this, opening day of the season, World Series, they're either a liar or a fool, one of the two.
That's true.
2 balls in the strike. Did you have him when you went first at bat?
Every time. And I was always glad I had him. When I didn't have him, I wondered. I was a little uncomfortable that I did not have him.
A good foot, but Say's right there, and he will go on to Durham, 1 away. Well, there's where Say was positioned perfectly.
Well, he was way up on the grass. We can see him in the lower left-hand corner of the screen already. He's 4 or 5 feet in, and Wiggins still give it a shot. He's trying to get on base, let his team get something started.
What really happened there, Earl, is he squared the bunt. He did not drag bunt. He almost put down a sacrifice bunt. He didn't drag bunt.
Here is Tony Gwyn.
Well, Rick Sutcliffe is a man of feelings. He started the ritual when he was in the minor leagues, and every time he would warm up, when he got done with the warm-up ball, he'd hand it to a fan on the way into the ballpark, on the way into pitching, and he did that today.
Now, there's a little sweep attempt right there by Gwyn trying to get on. Tony Gwyn, the National League champion, batting champion at 351. It's 1 ball, 1 strike. On deck, Steve Garvey.
Sutcliffe might not have liked the first 2 hitters getting up there attempting bunts on him.
There were a lot of guys that were like that. A couple come to my mind. Early Wynn and Sal Magley. Swing the bat, don't bunt. There's the strike, 1 and 2, the count.
And a good breaking ball.
We've got a guy on our pitching staff, Bruce Keeson. He doesn't like it, and he doesn't mind letting you know it.
There's Garvey on deck. Nothing. The Cubs on top. 1 out, bottom of the first. Got him looking. Strike 3 call, the second time in the series that Gwyn has struck out.
Pretty close pitch. Fastball outside corner. I believe it was a strike. It just kept tailing out and hit that part of the plate.
Oh, he hit the mitt. Jody Davis never moves his glove. You do that, the umpire sees you're right on target. Bingo, strike 3.
Garvey. Big night last night. Carried the Padres on his shoulders. See how Sutcliffe works to Garvey. Davis setting outside. This is blown away.
He got all fastballs to hit last night. Sutcliffe's got excellent breaking pitches. Yet he started him off with a fastball.
Keep an eye on Davis behind the plate. We'll see how Jody wants to set up, what their thoughts are on Garvey. Going to go out there again. Good breaking pitch.
Yes, sir. One thing with the book on Garvey also is he'll chase that breaking pitch if you get ahead of him.
Look for the right, Moreland coming on, still coming on, makes the catch in the side, retire. So the Padres are going to the first inning. We're through 1 in game number 5. It's the Cubs 2 and the Padres nothing. Now Jody Davis to lead it off had a big double last night. Also had a big key 2-run homer in the 4th inning last night off of left-hander Tim Waller. Here's the home run. hit it hard down the line. At that time, it tied the score. As did his double. The Cubs came back twice last night from 2-run deficits. Now there's Davis against Shao. Career-wise, 1 for 23. It'll be Davis, Boa, and Sutcliffe, the bottom three in the Cub order. High behind the plate, Kennedy coming back, and Terry will run out of room.
You know, certainly, Don, when you see the statistics of Ryan Sandberg and Jody Davis against an Eric Shao, it certainly seems as though Dick Williams has picked the right man to be at the right spot.
Well, that's true. He's got Shao out there. Of course, Eric was hurt by the home runs in the opening day at Wrigley Field. That's up high. The count 1-1. Dernier, if you recall, hit the second pitch of the ball game. A home run, giving the Cubs a 1-0 lead, and then Matthews homered. Had 2 home runs in the first inning. There's a good breaking pitch. And the count 1-2.
He'll have to continue to use that breaking pitch in order to make that fastball more effective.
And if he's going to use that breaking pitch, he's going to have to throw it for strikes also. There you see Kennedy wanting the fastball inside, missing inside. The count 2-2. Without the man on second base, you won't use the sequence sign, so we'll let you have a little chance at home and see what Kennedy's thinking along with Shao. We'll move that from our center field cameras. We move along. That's hit well left field. Down in the corner, Martinez over to the wall. This ball is gone. Home run, Jody Davis. 3-0 Chicago. Slider, and Davis jumped right on it. Look at it right here.
We'll watch Terry Kennedy here as the ball goes out of the ballpark. Oh my goodness, look at that. Well, that's the way you feel. Bad slider, bad pitch.
Here's Larry Boa, 3-0 Chicago.
The thing right now, I think if I'm in the outfield right now or on that San Diego bench, I know that I've got one of the toughest pitchers in the game pitching against me, and I just can't let him get too much of a lead.
No, and Dick Williams is thinking that, but again, Williams has said he's going to move quickly, but there's nothing you can do against the one that goes over the fence. The instant run is the biggest thing in baseball.
That's right. That's exactly what he said, too, Earl. He said, I can't defend against the home run. He says, I will not let him sustain a rally if I can help it. But it's been the 2 long balls by Durham and Davis that have put the Cubs on the board. They have 3 runs on only 2 hits, both home runs. Outside, that's ball 3.
This is going to sound a little silly, but sometimes if I were sitting in that dugout managing, I'd say, I just hope he goes ahead and walks him. It gives me a chance to get him out of there before the next guy hits him.
That's right.
If I feel he doesn't have good stuff.
Don't let you sit there dangling a little bit.
Right.
Yep. That's the left field. Left center, Martinez moving over, calling, and makes the catch. One gone, and that'll bring on Sutcliffe. And he's a good hitter. Yes, sir.
Number 40.
Got a laugh with Rick prior to the game. He leaves his glove over there, leaving it laying on the bench. He won't even bring that out. He's walking around with a bat in his hand. A typical pitcher.
I'm sure that right now that Mr. Shao has got to show Dick Williams something, because he's not too far from coming out of this ball game. You see a man hit a ball out of the ballpark. Then you see Larry Bow, who's only hitting 193 left-handed, put the bat on the ball pretty sharp. I'm sure Dick's watching him awfully close.
Here's Sutcliffe. He homered in Chicago, hit it completely out of the ballpark. Takes the first pitch outside. So Shao struggling. All of a sudden the body, but not the real good emphasis in it either. There's a base hit, right center field. Gwyn will come on. Gwyn on a couple of hops and 3-0 Chicago. As it'll be the top of the order, Bobby Dernier to stand in against Andy Hawkins. Right side could be two, but they bobble the ball. They get Sutcliffe the lead man. That ball just came up on Wiggins. He could not find the handle.
The little short hop is what it was.
So Hawkins, let's take another peek at it.
Right. Looks almost a sure double play ball. Now you, right there, the little short hop up on the heel of the glove. Wiggins did the right thing, didn't panic, took his time, threw the ball to second base for one. Here's another real good picture of it. Didn't panic, that's the main thing. I've seen him grab after that little white thing 5-6 times and never pick it up.
That's right. I know the feeling. Well, you've got Dernier at first, good speed, and here's Ryan Sandberg. He had a rocket to Nettles at third his first time at bat. Hawkins, 24 years old from Waco, Texas, now makes his home in Bruceville. He's a 6'3", 205-pounder. Came on and did a fine job last night. Got a very big key out, and actually it turned into two. Big double play.
Right back to Hawkins. He goes to Templeton for one. Back to first, a double play.
There's 2 outs and a run in on the home run by Jody Davis to lead off the second. 3-0 Chicago. There he goes. Kennedy, good strong throw to Caddy. Quick tank by Templeton. The throw is a little high.
This is an excellent throw right here by Terry Kennedy. Pretty good jump by Dernier. The reason he threw him out, fastball up and away. He jumped out, took the ball early, and bingo, Templeton with a good tag. Here's another look at it.
Oh, that's close.
It looked like he didn't touch the base.
So we go to the bottom of the second inning, 3-0 Chicago. From our center field cameras, we move along. That's hit well left field. Down in the corner, Martinez over to the wall. This ball is gone. Home run, Jody Davis, 3-0 Chicago. Now there's another look at that tag, and I think it might have been just a quick slap tag by Templeton that got the attention of McSherry. It looked like that was a very close play, Earl.
Well, it looked like if he'd have got the other hand in on the bag, it would have been there before the tag.
Greg Nettles will lead it off as we go to the bottom of the second inning, 3-0 Chicago.
The amazing thing about that is I believe they pitched out on 2-1, and Dick Williams is one of the few managers in baseball that will call that, with the thought that if he doesn't go, your pitcher's behind 3-1.
1 ball and no strikes to Nettles. Well, there's where a manager will have confidence in a pitcher, or he'll just have a gut feeling on what the opposition might be doing.
Well, it was a definite run situation, and Williams is not afraid to take a chance.
Right side, Sandberg. On to Durham, 1 away.
Number 15,
so 4 straight outs. 1 out. In the bottom of the second inning, and they'll bring on Terry Kennedy. On deck, Bobby Brown.
Sutcliffe staying with the pattern. He threw a breaking ball just then when he was behind 1 ball and no strikes.
Right back off of the glove of Sutcliffe, and here comes Say, has a shot. They don't get it. Durham might have cheated too much.
They have. I'd like to see it again. That was an awfully nice play by Ron Say. Here's a ball, a fastball at Terry Kennedy. A pretty good pitch down and away. Hits right in the middle of the pocket or off the arm of Rick Sutcliffe. Ron Say on top of the ball makes a good throw, but he's safe. Ward Durham left the bag early. A little tough to see. As Say charges the ball, throws all in one motion, and Durham left the bag early.
Well, it could have been both ways because it was close enough to call him safe. I believe it was a good call by Paul Runge.
So the Padres have their first base run of the afternoon, and here's Bobby Brown taking over for the injured Kevin McReynolds. On that outside corner to Brown. 0-1.
21-1 so far. Won 4 ball games in the American League, 16 in the National League, and only lost 1 in the playoffs. And when you're that good, it's not a fluke. You are good.
Action in the Padre bullpen as they move into the bottom part of the lineup. Brown doesn't get the slider. 0-2 the count.
Here's the play at first. We'll get another look at Durham. He's on. He just beat it out.
0-2 to Brown with Carmelo Martinez on deck. Low and away. There's a good pitch. Dave Krivecki throwing in the Padre bullpen.
They're really giving Kennedy some room at first base. Durham is a good 6 steps back behind the bag.
Well, he doesn't run well, so they're going to let him run. They don't believe he's going to run because they're 3 runs down.
Right, exactly right.
Struck him out. Good fastball by Sutcliffe.
3-run lead can allow you to do a lot of things in baseball that you can't do when it's tied.
Get another look at this pitch. Rick Sutcliffe with a real good overhand fastball. Swings right through it. 89 miles an hour.
You get down below the belt to that Brown, though, with a fastball, and you're getting in a danger zone.
Here is Carmelo Martinez, a left fielder. 3 for 14 in the series. There's 2 outs. Pops him up. Boa going back and calling. And Larry makes the catch, and that'll do it for the Padres here in the second inning. No runs on a hit. They leave a man in. We're through 2 from San Diego. It's the Cubs 3 and the Padres nothing. All right, Jim. In the top of the 3rd, Ryan Sandberg will lead it off. He was at bat when Dernier was cut down trying to steal to end the second inning. 0-1 to Sandberg. You see they're 6 for 16 in the series. High, shallow left. Templeton out. Martinez coming out fighting the sun and makes the catch. That's going to be a little tough out there for your left fielder and center fielder right now.
The left fielder, number 26, Gary Matthews.
You see him shade his eyes even though he does have the glasses down. Carmelo Martinez shade his eyes with a glove. He's got his glass down. Never glasses down. Never takes his eye off the ball. 2-hand catch. It gets tough. You see those 2 hands go up there. They don't go for the 1 hand there.
And that one wasn't in the pocket of the glove either. It looked a little bit toward the heel of the glove.
Gary Matthews at the plate with a count of 1 and no strikes. He walked, stole second, and scored ahead of Durham as Leon hit his 2nd home run in the championship series. 2-0 the count.
Andy Hawkins back inside with Gary Matthews.
See, that's the book on him. Earl, pitch him inside. I tell you, as a hitter, you know they're pitching you inside. You know it's a book on you, but you just don't like it. It just makes you mad.
3-0 the count. Last pitch at 92 miles an hour. And he walks him the 2nd time. And here's Durham.
A lot of times, Earl, you'll have a fella that they're trying to pitch inside, and that player will adjust and really start hammering a baseball. Sometimes it doesn't work. I see that Gary Matthews now has made a decision to make them throw him a strike. If they throw it inside, you want to walk me, fine.
That's what all good hitters do. Did you back off the plate a little bit when you know the pattern was inside?
I did it in the 77 series against the Dodgers, and they kept throwing it inside, and I kept hitting it over the fence, and they figured they wasn't getting it in far enough. And each time I got it in farther, I got off a little quicker.
Well, there's times when you're working that way, and that's one of the keys for a pitcher and a catcher, but especially a pitcher. That's where the feet come in the play. You've got to watch those hitters. If they see them backing off the plate, then go down there and away. Bring them back up a little bit.
That's
and then you come
guys want. Sometimes you can get off the plate, lean back like you're looking in, and look away. So there's all kind of tricks.
Well, that's the whole thing with pitching and hitting. That is just one out guessing the other and keeping the other off balance.
It's a real cat and mouse game sometimes.
That's it.
And right now, they remember that Gary Matthews stole second last time he was on first just because they didn't pay any attention to him. And now they're throwing the ball over to first base, keeping him a little closer.
here in San Diego this afternoon. Game 5, final game of the National League Championship Series. Runner goes, swung on a miss, and now Kennedy, he's got to give it to Templeton. Templeton will run him back, he'll go to Garvey. Garvey will go back to Wiggins, who makes it tag. The Padres just about botched that up, and it was the left-hand hitter that confused Kennedy for a moment. So the Cubs are gone. We'll talk about that when we come back to the bottom of the third. 3-0 Chicago.
Right here we'll see the unsuccessful hit and run. I believe that's what it was. And Matthews at first got such a slow jump that it was more or less like a delayed steal, and Kennedy didn't even see him. If he would have kept going, I think he might have made it.
I'm not so sure whether this was a hit and run or not. Here we see perfect execution of the rundown play. You see the players run with the ball, showing it so the other player can see it. Matthews could have stolen that base. He gets hung up. Might have been a hit and run, Earl. That'll be interesting to find out for sure when we talk to one of the managers.
I would have to think it was, Earl, just by looking at the way his head was and watching the pitch.
Yes.
Picking up the hitter, and on a steal, you don't pick up the hitter.
That's exactly right.
I think it's kind of unusual to hit and run with the guy that struck out 86 times. Tough to hit and run with a guy that doesn't make a lot of contact. That's one thing I never did was hit and run.
Here's Templeton as we go to the bottom of the third.
You remember when you played for me, I didn't have a hit and run. Just go up, you get the jump, and if the hitter wanted to hit it.
I haven't had a hit and run in 17 years. Swing and miss too much.
Ramirez on deck, so Dick Williams going to his bench very early as Templeton sends a two-hopper to Sandberg, who throws him out. Now there's one away, and Sutcliffe is just sailing right along.
Batting for the pitcher Hawkins, number 12, Mario Ramirez.
Here's Mario Ramirez, pinch hitter. 0 for 1 in the series. On deck, the leadoff hitter, Alan Wiggins.
This will give you an idea what Dick Williams thinks. I believe that he believes that he needs all the offense that he can get. Hawkins is throwing the ball very well, but he knows he needs to score against Sutcliffe. He gets a lead like he does have and gets off and running, and he's going to be awfully tough to catch.
Jody Davis might have a play, and will have a play. 2 gone. Now there's 2 gone in the bottom of the third.
Number 2, the second baseman, Alan Wiggins.
There's a good shot from our Goodyear Club Columbia from Carson, California. Our pilot is Charles Russell from Downey, California. And our cameraman up there again this afternoon is Arch Griffin. Boy, that's a beautiful shot.
I think you're right, Reggie. If it were any other game than the 5th game of the playoffs, Dick Williams might have let Andy Hawkins go around the lineup another time before he pinch hit, but this is it. This is
He's been throwing the ball well.
Here's Wiggins trying to butt his way on and save, throw him out. Shanks it left side, 0-1. Well, the thing if you're Dick Williams right here, you've got to try and get some offense going against Sutcliffe. You've got to get 3 just to tie to start all over again. And Sutcliffe has been exceptionally tough.
All year long.
Yes, sir. There's the number 4 and 5 with Cleveland, 16 and 1 with the Cubs.
Didn't quite get the run support over in Cleveland that he got with the Cubs. That makes like night and day. Before he took the field today, he had a 2-0 lead.
Yes, sir. Nothing better than that. Well, one of the things that Billy Connors, the pitching coach, saw when he first saw Sutcliffe through in a Cub uniform, he was pitching inside, and all of a sudden Billy Connors said to Jimmy Frazier, "Hey, what do we have here? A man that'll work inside a little bit?" And he hasn't changed. He stays right there. He'll be inside, outside, got good control around the plate.
Pitching coaches believe in order to have success, you can't be afraid to pitch inside.
There's a strike, and the count goes even at 2. 2 balls, 2 strikes, 2 out. High, 3 and 2.
No reason for not being able to pitch inside like that. And he walks it. He's also been known to walk a few hitters. He refuses to give in He wants you to hit his pitch all the time, and that shows you he's staying consistent. He wants to pitch his game, Don.
Well, he walks him with a fastball. You know, Wiggins is a single hitter and gets quite a few of them. So the base on balls is the same as what he's going to get ordinarily, whether you go down the center of the plate or not.
Tony Gwyn on the hopper to Durham. He'll step on the bag and do it himself in the side retired. No runs, no hits. They leave a man. We're through 3 from San Diego. Game 5. The Cubs 3, the Padres nothing. On the mound for the Padres, leading off Keith Moreland in the top of the 4th inning. It'll be Moreland, Say, and Davis. 3-0. The Cubs on top. High to center field. Brown fighting to stop. Put away. And that'll bring on Ron Say. So the Cubs trying to do something here this afternoon they have not done in 39 years. And the table is set for what happened 39 years ago. The Tigers have already won in the American League, and the Cubs trying to rematch with Detroit the first time since 1945.
And if I'm in the Chicago dugout, I'm telling my players, let's don't be in a hurry. Let's get as many as we possibly can.
Well, the ball game is still very, very early right now, Earl. There's a long way, a lot of baseball to be played.
Becky will let it roll, and Nettles picks it up foul. Well, that's so true. You looked at the Cubs. They've got 3 runs on only 3 hits. They had 3 runs on only 2 hits, and they picked them up, bam, like that. Up high, 1-2 the count. The Cubs 3 runs on 3 hits. The Padres no runs on 1 hit.
Don, Ron Say is only hitting 200 in this series so far, but he's been swinging the bat well.
Strikes out on the high fastball, 2 gone.
Vicky throws a fastball up, and it gets by Ronnie Say up and away. Trying to pull that ball, you just can't do it. Take another look at it here in super slow-mo. Well, I wish I could see a ball that good the way I can see it here on super slow-mo, and bingo, he swings right through it. Trying to pull a ball, it's up and away, Donnie.
I had that down pat before I retired. That's how mine looked like. That's why I had to hang them up. On 1 to Jody Davis, who homered his first time at bat, his 2nd home run of the series, and his 6th RBI.
How about those numbers?
Right side, there's Wiggins. And for the first time, the Cubs going easy 1, 2, 3. We go to the bottom of the 4th inning. It's the Cubs 3 and the Padres nothing.
I'm with the new commissioner of baseball, Mr. Peter Uberoff. Mr. Commissioner, the issues over which you will arbit with the umpires situation.
Well, we're basically almost there. Both sides. The umpires are well represented by Richie Phillips, and the 2 presidents of the leagues have come to me this morning and said, we've got few things that need settling. Will you do it? I said, I'll arbitrate tomorrow. Money is one of them, but we're almost there. And the main thing is we got them back on the field of play. So this thing's, they're great umpires. We needed them.
You expect it to be settled then by the World Series?
Yes, they'll be in the World Series.
Thank you very, very much. Enjoy the game. Now back to the booth with Don Drysdale. Donald?
All right, Timmy, thank you much, and thank you, Commissioner. As it'll be Garvey, Nettles, and Kennedy as we go to the bottom of the 4th inning.
Center of the lineup.
Garvey fly to right his first time at bat. Sutcliffe has allowed just 1 base hit. That a 1-out single by Kennedy off of his glove in the 2nd inning. 1-0 the count. Well, these 2 should know each other from their Dodger days. There's no question about that. That's into right field. Giving ground is Moreland. Still giving ground. Has a play, and that is out number 1.
Garvey with that same swing, Reggie, that you talked about.
He's an inside-out swinger. A behind-the-ball hitter, I like to call it. Well, the problem with that swing is we see the pitch from Rick Sutcliffe here in super slow motion. The problem with this swing is when you do hit the ball behind, when you stay behind the ball all the time like that, you keep the ball, your bat in the strike zone a lot longer. But when you get a little bit older and you start swinging and missing a little bit, they say, hey, you know, he's not quite the same. There's a fine line there. You got to stay behind the ball to be successful. You get older, too, so it's kind of 6 dozen, half on the other, half dozen the other.
Here's Nettles. Inside 1-0.
Stayed away from Garvey, went right inside the Nettles.
There you see what Davis wants. Now he's using a 2 outside. Let's see what this pitch is. He's using 2 as a fastball, and Nettles pops it up. 2 gone. Sandberg handles that, and that'll bring on Terry Kennedy.
A lot of times, too, Don, with the signs, a lot of catchers will just go with pumps. And no matter how many fingers they put down, it won't mean anything. There's all different types of ways.
There's all kinds of signs
back there.
Funny thing about that, most of them are uncomplicated either.
The best ones to use are the ones that aren't complicated. That slice down the left field line. Matthews a long way to go. In the bullpen, and does he get it? Doug Harvey over there, and he calls him out.
There's the situation right there now. Don't tell me you don't need an umpire down that left field line. An umpire down that left field line, you have no question. We'll get a chance to see it as Gary Matthews keeps a beat on it the entire way, and he juggles the ball. Look at this. And I know the umpire did not see it. A long run, the ball was hit from a left-hand hitter, which means the ball is curving toward that foul line away from Gary Matthews.
Well, Matthews with the catch, 3-0 Chicago through 4. Larry Ball will lead it off in the top of the 5th inning. Doesn't get the perfect pitch. 0-1 the count. They ball 3 for 14 in the series. Fly to left his first time at bat. That was off of Eric Schau. If you're a ball boy here at Jack Murphy Stadium, that's what you're looking at. Up high, 2-2 the count. Opening night, they had 58,346. Last night, they had 58,354. The looper, shallow left center, coming on ground, good speed. He runs it down.
And I saw an ice cream cone. And I mean a double-decker. He had a little trouble with that ball right there. I don't know where that ball got in the sun or what, Donnie.
There you see that shake of the head.
Take a look at it again. Bobby Brown may be struggling with the sun, but no, he just may have struggled with the ball. They call that an ice cream cone. I think that was a double-decker, Earl.
Yep. A 1 gone, and here's Sutcliffe. He singled his first time at bat. 3 for 5 in the series. That home run coming at Wrigley Field.
He'd have to be considered as one of the most valuable players, Rick Sutcliffe, in this series.
No question, Earl. I guess it's going to kind of depend on who might win it and what might happen from here on out.
Well, you don't have any most valuable players on a losing team.
No. Well, Jody Davis went into the game hitting .429 as a home run, and Steve Garvey went in hitting .412 after last night, but you need 3, don't you?
Yes, you do. 3 to win.
Inside, 2-1 the count. On deck, the leadoff hitter, Bobby Dernier.
Knock him out. He's making good pitches. And that's what's necessary. This bullpen for the San Diego Padres are going to have to keep the ball game close to see if they can score some runs as we take another look at it, Earl, in the super slow-mo.
They've been doing that, just fastballs, and they have something on both of the 3-1 pitch and the 3-2 pitch. Super slow, it doesn't look so hard here, but it's coming in there. See the seams again on that ball.
Now there's 2 gone, and that'll bring on the leadoff hitter, Bobby Dernier, who has popped his second, was on a fielder's choice. A little bit low, the count 1-0.
First time I've ever seen the super slow-mo. Where'd that come from, Don?
Oh, they had that in the Olympics, Reggie. That was great. I'll tell you. It is going to be just absolutely what it is. Super. 2 balls, 2 strikes. strikes, 2 outs to Bobby Dernier. We're in the top half of the 5th inning, and the Cubs on top 3-0. 5th and final game. The winner of this game will go to the World Series, representing the National League against the Detroit Tigers. Bounce to Nettles, backs up on the big hop. Quick release to Garvey in time. So Dernier, the Cubs are gone. We're halfway through, 3-0. We'll be back with more baseball after this word from our local station.
He's an American classic, a comedy legend, the famous San Diego Chicken. The funniest, craziest, and one of the most beloved comics ever. And now for the first time on video, it's the Chicken's greatest bits. If you love to laugh, here's the tape you gotta have. It's one hilarious routine after another, caught in the act of his outrageous live performances. More than 55 million people have seen the Chicken in person in all 50 states and around the world. But the Chicken's home video is not in stores. This is a limited-time television offer, the comedy tape of the year. Yes, everybody loves the Chicken. Well, almost everybody. Here's how to order now.
To order your copy of the Chicken's Greatest Bits video, have your credit card ready and call 1-800-722-2100 or send $19.95 plus $4.50 shipping to the Chicken Video. P.O. Box 481, Hagerstown, Maryland. Order now.
Well, it will be Bobby Brown to lead it off. He'll be followed by Martinez and then Templeton in that order. As we're in the bottom of the 5th inning, Cubs on top 3-0. Greg Lefferts throwing in the bullpen, the winning pitcher last night. Well, Brown in center field due to the injury and the broken hand of Kevin McReynolds. The Padres this year were very fortunate as far as injuries were concerned. They only had 2 players on the disabled list all year. So Dick Williams could really play the same lineup, only platooned every now and then with Nettles and Luis Salazar at third. But today, he's got Brown in center field, McReynolds out of the lineup.
That means an awful lot to the success of a ball club, Don, when you can play the same players day in and day out.
Only 2 injuries is amazing.
And catch up to the fastball, 0-1 the count.
You know, when you see something like that happen, I wouldn't be surprised if the trainers on this ball club, the San Diego Padres, got a few calls from some of the other trainers around the league in baseball.
Well, that might be.
Dick Dent is the trainer for the San Diego Padres.
Chopper to Sandberg. Gives it to Durham. There's one away in the 5th.
The situation here, Don, to me, starting to unfold. You can't let this man get his boat too far offshore or you just won't catch him. Got everything going for him, confidence. The year he had, today's ball game, he doesn't need too much to get him going, that's for sure.
Well, I'll tell you how he's finished up the season. In his last 6 starts, Sutcliffe allowed 4 hits in one game, 3 hits in another game, 2 hits in his last 2 starts. Now, what's the matter with that?
Nothing, and there's 1 hit in this ball game off his glove.
That's it. Here's Carmelo Martinez. Knocked the ball at short. Takes outside, the count 1-0. Hit hard, right center field. Dernier off with the crack of the bat, back fighting the sun, makes a catch. What a play by Bobby Dernier.
Got a real good jump on that ball.
Looked like he was fighting the sun there. He flips his glasses down. You see the glare off of his sunglasses. Almost blinding. He stays with the ball. And a lot of times it didn't look like he was exactly sure where the ball was the whole time. And the thing about it, here's a man who's performed like that all season long. That ball goes up in the sun, and the important thing to do, even though it may go through the path of the sun, stick with it. Keep your eye on it, because sooner or later it may come out of there soon enough in order for you to catch it.
No, there's 2 gone, and that'll bring on Gary Templeton. Boy, that little man, he can run it down in center field. Tell you one thing, if he gets to the ball, just consider that ball caught.
He gets a great jump on a ball. There you see him tracking it, keeps his eye on it. The ball looked like it went in and out of the sun.
Templeton takes up high, 1-0 the count. To the hole, off of the glove of Durham, base hit. Rolling into shallow right field. Morton will come on. So that is the second Padre hit, and Dick Williams again will go to his bench.
I'm not so sure that was the base hit. It'll be interesting to see how they call that, Don. Yes,
I don't know.
Base hit all the way, huh?
Yeah.
I think it was base hit, Reg. We get to see it again here from high.
Number 7.
High on the roof. He did break the wrong way at first. The ball wasn't hit that hard, but it went off his glove and into right field.
If he doesn't touch the ball, Sandberg makes the play easy.
Kurt Pavakwa will come out. Pavakwa takes low. 1-0 the count. On deck, the leadoff hitter, Alan Wiggins.
Kurt Pavakwa has kept himself in the big leagues because he puts the bat on the ball consistently and puts the bat on the ball hard.
I believe over at Wrigley Field when he came to bat, we saw some numbers that he was 5th on the all-time active pinch hit list. That's low, the count, 2-0. That time just took a little bit off. There was nothing, little fastball.
I tell you, it's not easy to come off the bench and hit, especially against a pitcher like this when you know he's not going to give you a ball to hit. It shows a great deal of patience to me and a heck of a lot of discipline.
That's low, ball 3, and Jody Davis wants to have a chat with Sutcliffe.
And he's taking now.
He might be taking the next 2.
Yeah, that's good possibility. 3-0 for sure.
Well, he might even take 3 in one because of the way the success he's had.
Jimmy Fry jumping on that gum. Here you look at the super slow-mo of Rick Sutcliffe, kind of coming over a little bit more than usual, a little more straight up. He's more or less a straight up and down type pitcher, but that time that left leg planting a little bit better and something to throw against instead of that whole body carrying him off to that first base side. 3-1 the count.
And again, he knows he's supposed to throw strikes, but the harder you try, sometime the harder it becomes.
Pops him up into center field. Bobby Dernier is there, makes the catch, and that'll do it. The Padres are gone in the 5th inning. No runs and a hit. We're through 5. The Cubs on top, 3-0. Greg Lefferts comes on to take over the pitching chores as he will face Sandberg, Matthews, and Durham. So it started out with Shaw. It's gone to Hawkins, Drabecki, and now Lefferts. Lefferts, of course, a former Cub. And the Cubs on top, 3-0 as we move to the top of the 6th inning. And you know, back in Chicagoland, they are starting the countdown right now. High down the right field line. Gwyn moving over, and Tony makes the catch. Foul territory.
Very nice play by Tony Gwyn. Follows the ball all the way right into his glove. He comes up with the out. Good running catch. One thing about knowing your home ballpark, you know right where the fence is. You know where the warning track is. You step on that warning track, and usually in full stride, the warning track means you have another 2.5 to 3 steps. Unless you're Dave Winfield, you may only have 1. 6'6".
Here's Gary Matthews. He's walked twice, stole the base. He scored a run in front of Leon Durham in the 1st inning when Durham hit the 2-run, 2-out home run. 1-0 the count.
Warning track. Warning you when you get to the fence.
They feel, they say, yes, he did.
Well, it plays itself, but I'm sure that everyone knows you might as well go for it today. Doesn't matter what happens tomorrow because there may not be a tomorrow. And there's the check swing. He went a little bit too far. Very seldom do you see a check swing that doesn't look like it's a swing in a replay. Usually is umpire's judgment.
Jams him as Templeton fights his son and makes the catch. You saw Gary getting inside, saddling that ball a little bit, trying to get away from the sun.
It looks like it's wicked right now by the way the players are reacting.
Leon Durham. Oh, in California and late in the year, left field seems to be the spot where the sun is bad. As we take a look at Leon Durham, the home run that he hit his first time up. 2-run blast to put the Cubs up top. Almost in the same spot he hit the home run last night.
Takes the first pitch for a strike. Lefferts not an overpowering type pitcher. Learned the screwball in winter ball. There's the breaking pitch. Doesn't get it 0-2. And he will use his screwball against right-hand hitters mainly. Got Juan Say out last night with 2 outs and the bases loaded in the 9th inning on the screw.
Change right side. Wiggins right there. Will go to Garvey, and they get out of it.
It's a tough pitch to hit because you don't see it that much. There aren't that many pitchers that can master it.
It's also off speed helps. Different speed.
Right. Hard hooking foul.
There's a pitch that was not in the spot where Lefferts wanted to throw it.
There's 2 outs in the top of the 6th. The Cubs on top 3-0.
Although sometimes good hitters will hit any pitch, Earl. And they throw it where the hitter happens to be looking for it. And when a man has a year that Durham had, he can hit the ball anywhere.
Struck him out with a breaking pitch. 1-2-3. Cubs are gone. Bottom of the 6th. 3-0 Chicago.
We're with Richie Phillips, the attorney for the Umpires Union. Richie, you have obviously reached some kind of accord with the commissioner and with the league president.
That's right, Tim. The league presidents and the commissioner and I have had several meetings, and today we decided that we were close enough to reaching a final resolution that we should submit the issues to the commissioner for arbitration. The commissioner is a man that I trust, and I felt with a critical game like today that we were close enough that we ought to put the umpires back on the field after yesterday's great game. I just wanted to see them back today and not wait until the World Series.
You feel like a fair decision will be reached, even though the commissioner is an employee of the owners?
I don't think this commissioner is going to be an owner's commissioner. I trust him, and I think that my trust will be rewarded, Tim.
Okay, Richie Phillips, attorney for the Umpires Union. Now let's go back to the booth to Don Drysdale.
Thank you very much, Timmy. Thank you, Richie. As the Padre fans now get up on their feet to try and hoop it up a little bit, try and get something going. The Padres in the bottom of the 6th inning have the top of the order. Alan Wiggins to lead it off, followed by Tony Gwyn and Steve Garvey. Sutcliffe has scattered just 2 hits. Foul away.
And again, before the inning started, Jody Davis walked out and called his third baseman Sayers, first baseman Durham, and they don't want anybody getting on without swinging a bat. They're going to protect against that bunt.
The outfield shallow. Dernier slightly in left center field. There's your defensive alignment.
It's getting late right now, and I feel that these Padre fans can sense it, Don.
A bunt, a good one. Durham over. They can't make the play.
Perfect bunt. I mean, to tell you, he showed me something by getting that bunt down right there. Durham was in on the grass, charged the ball, and he still couldn't get it. He bunted that ball just hard enough to get it by the pitcher to make Durham go after the ball. This really shows me something here. This man's a great bunter. He makes a great bunt. No chance.
Right there, but Durham dropped the ball.
Any chance he had, Durham dropped it on the ground, that's for sure. Look at the ball by the pitcher, at the second baseman. Any chance they had was lost when Durham dropped the ball.
And they knew he was going to do it. Jody Davis had called him in, and they came in, and he still executed successfully.
Here's Tony Gwyn. Wiggins at first. High, 1-0 the count.
And he might run down 3-0 just to keep everything going.
I don't know if I have him run or not, Earl. But you never know.
I don't believe he's going to go down 3-0. You can't have that leadoff man thrown out.
With that lead, it looks like he was to me on that last pitch.
1-1 to count. You've got that holder on the right side. We'll see how Gwyn will go as they keep Wiggins close at first. Gwyn uses the entire ballpark. We've talked about that. Dernier slightly in right center, but he's back a little bit now. Moreland straight away in right. Matthews straight away in left.
Well, you played for Dick Williams. You know he's not afraid to gamble.
There he goes. There's a line drive base hit left field. Wiggins makes a turn. He'll hold right there. Matthews on the ball in a hurry. So the Padres put the first 2 men on here in the 6th inning. And that'll bring on none other than the man who won it last night, Steve Garvey.
You take another look at this. Tony Gwyn, 350 hitter, gets the bat right on the baseball. He doesn't try to do too much with it. He wants to put it in play hard, and he's successful at that as Matthews picks up the ball. And here's Steve Garvey and a visit from Steve Fry, and we've got all the stars and all the people on the marquee right out in the middle of the diamond right now.
Cub hitter or a Padre hitter, try and get your licks in because that shadow has all of a sudden crept out to home plate.
Like to say, if I'm hitting right now, I'm Steve Garvey. I know that Jim Fry has come out and talked to a man who's the best pitcher in baseball the last couple of months of the season. He's told Rick Sutcliffe, give him all you got. Steve Garvey has already thought that in his mind, and I can't wait to see two of the best professionals right now on October 7th, 1984, go at it.
And two former teammates. Up high, 1-0. Davis on that ball in a hurry. Up high, 2-0.
Sure, what they're going to try to do is they're going to try to keep the ball in on Garvey and not give him a chance to tie this ball game up because he showed you that he can go away.
Well, when you get a man who likes the ball out over the plate, as you say, that in-behind type hitter, you would certainly want to think a little bit about keeping that good fastball in on him.
Well, don't be surprised if the base runners go just to keep it going.
Breaking pitch, he up high, 3-0. And these fans now have come alive the only time that they've had a chance to show their enthusiasm so far this afternoon once the first pitch was thrown.
Well, we're at that part of the ball game where it's one hitter at a time.
Well, especially right now with Steve Garvey at the plate, the game right now is what I call in balance. Here's a man that can do something about it right now, and he's been doing it.
Nobody out. Wiggins at second. Gwyn at first. 3-0 Cubs. Walks it. Bases loaded. Nobody out. Second walk issued by Sutcliffe. And the bell still has not rung in the bullpen. So Garvey standing at first. Templeton at second. I should say Gwyn at second and Wiggins at third. And here's Greg Nettles.
And still nobody out.
And for Garvey, that's the first time that he's walked in the series.
He does not walk very much.
Not at all. Here's Nettles. He's bounced to second and popped to second. So the tying runs are aboard. 3-0 Chicago. Sutcliffe will work out of the stretch. On that inside corner, and Nettles doesn't like the call.
Get another look at this pitch. Jody Davis sitting inside. The ball is inside, and I don't know if that ball tailed back over the plate or not. Greg Nettles did not like it. I know that.
John Kibler said, yes, it did. And here's the one-strike pitch. High to right center field. All the runners are tagging except Garvey. Wiggins will come on to score. Gwyn will go to third. It's a 3-1 ball game with runners at first and third. Nettles just missed that.
Yes, he did. He just missed putting 4 runs on the board with one swing, and he knew it. There you see him coil and cock, lets the bat go, and bingo, he just missed that ball. He thought it had a chance, but he knew he had just missed it. Just got under it a little bit. There's the expression right there.
That was his pitch. Fastball below the belt.
Yes, it was. He's upset.
Now we get some action in the bullpen. Jimmy Fry is going for full battle gear. He's got Dennis Eckersley, a right-hander, and Steve Trout, a left-hander in the bullpen.
Both starting pitches.
Yes, sir. As Terry Kennedy will stand in.
There are no surprises now. He's got everything out in the open.
No, sir. You pull out all the big guns right here. Eckersley and Trout throwing behind Sutcliffe. 3-1, Cubs on top. Line down the left field line. Matthews going over. What a catch! Tagging is Gwyn. Garvey back to first. It's a 3-2 ball game. Terry Matthews, a big, big catch.
A great play by the Sarge. Hasn't been getting a few base hits, so he picks it up with his glove. Terry Kennedy takes an outside fastball, slats it to left field, a line drive, a sure double and a triple if he doesn't catch this ball because he goes on the ground. Matthews stays with the ball. A sacrifice fly, but oh, what it could have been. What it could have been.
3-3 it could have been.
And there's a play. And there's There's a play that can put the game in balance again, Earl.
Yes, sir.
Now 2 runs in, the Padres have drawn to within 1. And here's Bobby Brown. Garvey remains at first. Inside to Brown. Trout the left-hander. Eckersley the right-hander. Gossage down in the bullpen for the Padres. And yes, sir, there is no tomorrow. Durham on a big hop. He'll step on the bag and the side is retired. But the Padres come up with 2 runs on 2 hits. We're through 6 complete. Cubs 3, Padres 2. The finer catches in this series so far as he saved maybe the tying run.
And if that catch wasn't the finest, it was one of the most important, or the most important right up to this point.
Oh, no question, Earl. That was a big, big catch by Gary Matthews as Keith Moreland will lead off the 7th. Moreland is walked, and he is wide to center. He's 0 for 1. There's a strike, and now the shadow is right at home plate.
You know, as a hitter, Don, I don't think quite yet the shadow comes into play because it's not far enough out. The ball, you're still seeing the ball with a lot of sunlight.
Right. Bounce foul. Curtis Lewin says only the shadow knows.
Lamont Cranston. He was the shadow,
That's him.
That's when we used to sit and watch the radio instead of the television.
1-2 to count. That reminds me of the line that Sparky Anderson told me this summer. He said he finally realized his position in the media work. He says he's got a face for radio and a voice for television. And our congratulations to Sparky and all the Detroit Tigers. There's a line drive left field. Right there, Martinez to make the catch. A reminder that tonight at 9 o'clock Eastern Time, President Ronald Reagan and Walter Mondale in their first debate here on ABC, which will be moderated by ABC News commentator Barbara Walters. That'll be tonight at 9 o'clock Eastern Time, right here on ABC.
We've reached the point of the game where we're down to each out. Maybe not each pitch yet, but we're down to each out.
Each one's very, very important, as you say.
Here's Ron Say, 0 for 2 today. Spurgey doesn't get it, 0-1.
Now that kind of a pitch will be tough to pick up because it's a little tough to pick up the spin on a breaking ball, a slow breaking ball, off speed.
Lefferts with a count of 2 strikes to Say. High. Left center, Bobby Brown calling. He's there. 2 gone.
Get another look at this pitch, Don. In our super slow motion camera, boy, the ball looks really easy to hit here. As Craig Leffert lets the ball go, you see it all white right now in the sun, and all of a sudden, bingo, it's gone. Looks like it's got to make it a little tough to see.
Now there you see that shadow. Now in another inning or so, that shadow will move on out a little bit more. You'll have the hitter back in the daylight, and that strip will be between the hitter and the pitcher. Bouncer by Jody Davis to Templeton. On across to Garvey. And the Cubs are gone in the 7th inning. We go to the bottom of the 7th, 3-2, and we'll be back with more baseball after this word from our local station.
Baseball fever. Catch it.
The preceding message was furnished by Major League Baseball.
Oh, high over Jack Murphy Stadium here in San Diego. The shot from our Goodyear blimp Columbia from Carson, California. The pilot, Charles Russell from Downey. And our cameraman Arch Griffin up there this afternoon on a beautiful afternoon here in Southern California. Warm sunshine. We go to the bottom of the 7th inning of play. The Cubs on top 3-2. And it'll be Martinez, Templeton, and the pitcher spot. And Dick Williams has Gossage throwing in the bullpen.
A pinch hitter this inning. That's why the Goose is up.
Martinez has popped to short and hit the ball hard, and Dernier made a good catch running down in deep right center. There's Gossage. Up high, the count 1-0. Last inning, Trout and Eckersley were throwing for Jimmy Fry in the bullpen. On deck, Gary Templeton. Slider outside, 2-0.
That's a pitch he doesn't ordinarily miss with. I wonder if he's starting to get tired.
Martinez with 13 home runs on the year. He does not have a lot of speed, and lo and behold, the last one he hit was on the 2nd of September, an inside the park home run against the Mets. High, 3-0. And Davis wants to talk to Sutcliffe. Jimmy Fry.
Concerned, very concerned. The last thing he wanted to see happen was for his pitcher to go out and throw 3 straight balls.
Get Trout up, he says. Give me the left-hander. Billy Connors, the pitching coach, says, well, you want Eckersley with it? Give me Trout. He walks him on 4 pitches. Sutcliffe did not throw that ball well at all.
Oh, you sure wouldn't expect that.
He kind of aimed it, Earl.
Yes, he did. Signs of fatigue, it looks like.
Well, Sutcliffe now. An old trick right here.
Maybe biding a little time, getting a little breather.
Watch Sutcliffe here in super slow-mo. He does not have a lot on this pitch. More or less just kind of aims it up there and misses high.
Well, I know, Don, that during the season over there in Anaheim this time of year, I mean, it's hot. And we were down on the field today, so we take a look at Steve Trout, who pitched the 2nd game over there in Chicago. It is exceptionally hot down there. And I'm sure it's taking its toll right now on Rick Sutcliffe. This is where, for me, I like to hit against a guy like this now because I thought he got a little tired.
Here's Templeton, going to square around the bunt. Does so. They might have a play at second, but Say looks at first, goes to Sandberg, and the sacrifice works.
Yes, it does. A big sacrifice. Good to see it again. Templeton squares around, gets the ball down in a very good spot. When it hit that grass, it slowed up. At first, it looked like Say might have a play at second base, but first base was his only play.
Good execution and a good bunt.
Now here's Tim Flannery. He's going to come on and pinch hit.
And yes, Howard Cosell, I would have bunted in that situation.
The coach, the manager has to give an excuse or explain himself to the coach.
Now here's Flannery.
Only on exceptions. And Howard's an exception.
Martinez at second. They go back there, but no throw. Sutcliffe will use that move.
Be interesting to see to me now what they do with Alan Wiggins. Whether they want to make him hit right-handed or make him hit left-handed.
Trout throwing. I believe it's Brewster got up along with him. Ground ball hit to Durham. Right through his leg. Here comes Martinez. We're tied at 3.
again, should have been an easy play. Durham's down doing everything he can to keep it from going through, but it got through anyway.
Ball hit pretty sharp by Flannery. Durham gets down on the ball to protect it, but he just doesn't stay down long enough. He's got his glove between his legs. He's got the ball can hit on his knee. It can hit on the instep of his shoe or his glove, and it misses everything.
A 3-3 tie. One out in the top of the order. Alan Wiggins, the hitter. That is Mark Williams, the younger son of Dick Williams, alongside of the Padres skipper. Here's Wiggins. There's the strike, and the count 0-1. The outfield shading Wiggins to hit to the opposite field. Moreland quite a ways over in the right center field. Boy, I'll tell you, Wiggins ever turns on a ball, and it's Katie bar the door. Tries to bunt it, fouls it away. Right now, let's go down to Tim McCarver and the Cub bullpen.
Steve Trout and Warren Brusco are both warming up, and I would imagine Jim Frye will save Steve Trout for Tony Gwynn, Greg Nettles, and Terry Kennedy. Back to the booth, Don.
All right, Timmy, thank you very much. Trout the left-hander, Brusco the right-hander. And Davis wants to have a chat with Sutcliffe.
Well, he knows that this may be Rick Sutcliffe's last hitter. They're not going to let Alan Wiggins turn around and bat right-handed because he's a .312 hitter right-handed and a .234 hitter left-handed, huh?
Tony Gwynn on deck. Say, even with a bag at third. Durham holding Flannery at first. One out, a run in. 3-3 tie. Little Looper left field. That's going to drop for a base hit. Matthews on a big hop as Flannery stops at second.
Fry's got his big man on the mound. I think he's going to stay with him.
Well, I would kind of agree. You got to either win it or lose it with your big guy. What do you think, Johnny?
Well, he's got you where you're at. And you've got Tony Gwynn, the National League batting champion, standing at the plate. How are you going to win, Earl? Here's a case where you don't even want to be a manager.
I've said that to myself a million times. There's Dick Williams. He's sitting in a pretty good position.
Well, he's got a .350 hitter up there, one out. And the winning run on second base, the lead run. Go ahead, run.
Well, we had an error, which would have been a second out in a blue pit, so Fry's decided to stay with him. I think it's a good decision myself.
And I think that error will make the mind up for a lot of managers.
Yes, sir.
Don't you?
Sure. It's not like a line drive down either line.
Right.
It's an out the pitcher should have had.
Alan Wiggins did a great job. He played hardball, big league baseball, did anything to get on, put the bat on the ball for a single to left field.
Hard, Sandberg over his head, a right center field base hit. One run will score. Moreland is slow getting it. Here comes Wiggins. Here comes in front of the plate. He's safe. The third is Gwynn. 5-3, San Diego.
So the infield comes in. The Padres. 3 runs here in the bottom of the 7th, and Steve Garvey will be the hitter. Hard up the middle, base hit. Gwynn scores 6-3 San Diego.
Now we'll see Fry come out, I'm sure.
Here he comes. Dick Williams trying to restrain the troops because as fast as they've scored 4, Williams has been there, but listen to the hand for Sutcliffe, and what a year Steve Garvey at first base, driving in the 6th run of the ball game. Trout delivers high to Nettles. So Trout making his second appearance. Steve won game number 2. That was at Wrigley Field. There you see the numbers on Trout back in Chicago. 4 runs in for the Padres here in the bottom of the 7th inning. They now lead it 6-3. Foul away, the count 1-1. But don't count the Cubs out. They were down last night twice by 2, and they came back.
We'll all have to do it all for the same fella, I think. We'll more than likely see Gossage.
Gonna see Goose. Outside the count, 2-1. Durham looks at second. He'll step on the bag. There's 2 gone. Now Garvey at second. In the inning, just to recap it, Martinez let it off. He walked on 4 pitches. Templeton sacrificed him to second. Flannery hit for the pitcher. Leverts hit a ground ball to Durham and went through his leg. That scored the tying run. Then Wiggins looped a single to left. Gwyn hit a shot by Sandberg into the alley right center field and went for the triple scoring 2. Garvey singled to score Gwyn, and that's where we stand. As the 8th man stands at the plate in Terry Kennedy. He is 1 for 2 this afternoon. Foul down the first baseline. The last time he had a line shot that Matthews made a fine rolling catch on him, going to the line and left.
Well, we're down to outs.
Brewster down in the Chicago bullpen, throwing behind Trout. Did he go around? Yes, he did. So Kennedy is out. The Padres are gone, but not before they come up with 4 runs on 3 hits, 1 very big error. They leave a man, and we're through 7 complete. It's the Padres 6, the Chicago Cubs 3. Well, next week, that'll be coming your way. CFA College Football from Dallas, Texas, live, 3:30 Eastern Time. It'll be Texas and Oklahoma. Texas winning big. Oklahoma was idle, so very easily that'll be the 1 and 2 teams in the country since Ohio State got beat. Luis Salazar has moved into center field, and there's the Goose, Rick Sutcliffe, on for the Padres, as he will face Larry Boa.
We got Thad Bosley pitching.
Oh, check that. That's not Boa at all. That is Bosley.
But one thing right now that Rick Gossage has in his advantage, and that's that shadow, Don. It's right between home plate and the mound. I mean, smack dab in the middle. The ball's going to go in and out of it, and it's going to make it that much tougher to see.
And watching Gossage right now, it's a different Gossage than last night. He is well within himself. I think Goose, he went to school last night. Struck him out on 3 pitches.
Good morning, good afternoon, and good night.
And how tough is it to come off of the bench with that 98-mile fastball coming out of the sun, into the shadow, and then back into the sun?
The ball's almost in the catcher's glove when he swings at it.
Now Richie Hebner is going to come out, and he will hit for the pitcher, Steve Trout. Gossage so much free and easier this afternoon than last night. It's like a different man out there in the same uniform.
He might have needed that work last night.
Very easily. 96 on that last fastball. Inside. Did it hit him? Yes, it did. Wait a minute. Now Terry Kennedy said no, it didn't, but John Kemper said, oh, yes, it did.
And we'll find out for sure in a minute. The Goose winds up. We'll see if this ball hits him or not. I'm sure it did. There's no way he's going to get out of the way there. Just nicked him in the knee.
Now Dick Williams very quickly to the mound. As he wants to talk to Gossage, it'll be Bobby Dernier to stand in. Dernier 0 for 3 this afternoon. Whitson and Thurman. So 2 for manager Dick Williams. And as we said before, you go to your heavy artillery in that pitching lineup.
Instead, but in this ball game, the San Diego bullpen can't receive enough credit. Chicago got up 3, and the bullpen turned them right off.
Pops him up right side. Alan Wiggins says he'll try it. On the skin part of the infield, out number 2. And Ryan Sandberg will be the hitter, 2 outs in the top of the 8th.
And now we're down to each pitch of the ball game.
Yep. You're down to each pitch and each out now. Gossage, how many times has he been there before? This young man standing at the plate probably will be the National League most valuable player. 98 miles an hour on that last pitch. There's the curveball. 0-2.
Playing with Rick Sutcliffe, the more important of all game, the faster, the more adrenaline he had flowing. You can't ask for much more here. If his cup isn't running thing over right now, and he doesn't have any adrenaline.
Foul into the plate. John Kibler says no. And a right ball.
Running thing over.
Running thing over. There's Mrs. Gossage. Look at the little one. He doesn't want to look at it. That's in the left center field, moving in a hurry is Salazar to cut it off at the pass. Throw back to second base. And the Cubs have runners at first and third. And that will bring the tying run to the plate in Gary Matthews. And we said before, look out, the Cubs can come back again.
Yes, they have. Yes, they can. They've done it before, and they believe they can do it again. We're in a dogfight.
Well, here's Matthews. He's walked twice, a stolen base, and he popped it short. He had some giddy-up on that.
Yep, and I wonder if they'll use that slider.
I'm sure he will. Dick Williams was talking to me about that before the ball game.
Sandberg goes. There's no throw. Steals it standing up.
Smart play.
Now Sandberg with his third stolen base of the series, and the count 2-1 to Matthews.
Goose more or less giving him that stolen base, concentrating on the hitter.
Garvey guarding the line. Nettles guarding the line. 2-2 the count. 98-mile-an-hour fastball on that last one. Struck him out. No runs, a hit, no errors, 2 men left. We go to the bottom of the 8th inning. As you take a look at this last fastball by Gossage. Out of the shadows, into the sunlight. It's 6-3 San Diego, and we'll be back after this message and a word from our local station. Well, you're looking at the Vice President, General Manager of the Chicago Cubs, Dallas Green, and you just got to know what his insides are doing right now. He's been through it all, Earl, and to sit there, I think at times, is one of the most helpless positions you can be in as you look at Tom Elijah, the new shortstop.
And that one victory that you needed that never comes is awful.
Now it'll be Warren Brewster. He will be the third Chicago pitcher of the afternoon.
And they still got 3 outs.
Yes, sir.
Cubs still have 3 more outs. Very good point, Reggie.
Here's Salazar as he takes a strike.
There'll be a little talk about the length of time that Fry left Sutcliffe in, but I want to say right now, he was the big man.
That's right. There's Gossage. Well, I'll tell you one thing, Earl, if you're going to go down swinging, you want to go down swinging with your A team. You don't want to go down with anybody else.
That's exactly the way I feel.
You go with the people that got you there. If it's good enough, you win. You drink the champagne. If it's not good enough,
triple. They've got it going now. 10th man, their extra man, Salazar in the ball game. Juan Bruscar lets this ball go, and Luis Salazar hits it a ton. It looked like it had a chance to go out of the ballpark as Bob Denier gives chase, but he can't get it, and he knows it. Off the wall, and he's got a stand-up triple. Take another look at it. Bobby Denier watching it all the way, but he just can't get there, Don.
Nope. Hit over his head. And now, what any manager does not want to have to do, the infield has to come in. When you're trying to play catch-up on the road, and you have to bring the infield in. Martinez takes a strike.
That makes a 300 hitter out of everybody in baseball.
Yes, it does. I love to hit in this situation. All you got to do is hit the ball hard. You got an RBI and a base hit.
Now you have Bruscar standing out there in the shadow. Martinez in the shadow. The line between. Squeeze! And they miss it. As Davis will tag out Salazar. I don't understand that play.
Well, I'll tell you, the only time the squeeze is going to work is when it was unexpected. And he caught the Chicago ball club not looking for it. All he had to do was get it down, and it would have worked successfully. But when your hitter misses it, it can look awfully bad, especially when you do it with no one out.
That's true. I think that Dick Williams is saying, hey, right now, I want to get all the runs I possibly can. I want to try to get 7 runs to make the Cubs get 8 to beat me. He's showing that he respects the offense of the Cubs, is what he's saying.
Well, that's very true. I understand that. I just look at the no-out and infield in situation. I do not play it that way, as Martinez strikes out, so very quickly there's 2 gone. Salazar might have twisted an ankle a little bit. But that's why we're sitting up there and they're down here. But that is just a little bit unusual.
That was very unusual, but it's only going to work when the other side doesn't expect it. So he put it on when they didn't expect it. And no one expected it.
No, it caught us off guard. Up the first base side, Bruscar will go to Durham, and we go to the 9th inning of play. Here in San Diego, game number 5 is the Padres 6, the Chicago Cubs 3.
Ray's philosophy with the Padres was really the same that he always had with McDonald's, and that the ball team really belonged to the community, and that's how we ran the ball club. And anyone that's been associated with the club knows that Ray was like any fan in that if, for example, Dave Kingman would have a bad day, he'd immediately want to get rid of him. And, of course, he was the one that had the power to do it, unlike the ordinary fan.
On January the 14th, 1984, the community of San Diego lost its #1 baseball fan. Ray Kroc passed away. His leadership and commitment were never-ending. His desire for a world championship was unequaled. And as long as baseball is played in San Diego, his memory will be everlasting.
His enthusiasm was contagious. And people that were perhaps down after a half hour with Ray would leave his office or wherever the meeting had been, so inspired that they would, I'm certain that he changed many lives with his enthusiasm and energy.
Ray was a very, very gentle man, understanding, compassionate, loved cigars. Of course, we became friends immediately. He was a guy that cared about people, and in talking with the man, you could see that there was a great deal of personal care in all the people that worked for him.
Certainly the last memory I have of him as associated with the ball club was the day that we signed Rick Gossage, and Ray was up at Scripps Hospital. It was only a couple weeks before he passed away. And he was very, very sick. And I took Rick up to meet him. And Ray was thrilled. And I know that Ray felt, as we did at that point, that that really was that final piece and that we had a chance to win in '84. One of the things that I had said for years, and you've heard me say it, is that if we could just win one time while Ray was alive, I wouldn't care whether we ever won again. And I'm sorry that he wasn't around to to see it in person. He certainly was in spirit. But I know that Ray felt proud of the ball club. Again, there were times when he wasn't proud of it. He hated to lose. He never understood why the ball club would lose. He didn't understand why pitchers had bad outings or batters struck out or fielders made errors, and that just was the type of personality he had. But he was proud of the San Diego Padres, and you know, I'm just happy that we could leave him with that, you know, that memory.
The 1984 season was dedicated to his memory.
You know, throwing out the first ball in that 1978 All-Star game was one of the highlights for me. There could only be one bigger highlight, and that's when I can throw out the first ball for the World Series. Man, wouldn't that be something? And one day we'll be there.
Now Jimmy Fry and the Chicago Cubs. Their backs against the wall.
They had a 3-0 lead until the bottom of the 6th inning. The Padres scored 2 to make it 3-2. Then they scored 4 in the bottom of the 7th inning to take a 6-3 lead, as Leon Durham will lead it off in the top of the 9th inning.
His job is to get on base some way.
He takes his strike. The Padres will roar with every pitch. Their fans, 58,359. High left side, coming back Kennedy, and that'll be out of play.
And Gossage is throwing good. Last inning, he threw 17 pitches. 14 of them were strikes.
Well, that's what you like to see. You've got to throw strikes. But the Padres, the first year in existence in 1969. A record of 52 wins, 110 losses. Out of play, left side, 1-2 the count. If you remember that lineup they had, Nate Colbert at first, Jose Arce at second, Tommy Dean at short, Ed Spezio at third, curveball high, 2-2 the count. They're outfielders of Ollie Brown, Cito Gaston, Al Ferrara. Pitchers like Joe Niekro, Kirby Clay, Al Santorini. Hooking down the right field line, moving over Gwyn, and does he make the catch? He makes the catch! What a play by Tony Gwyn!
They're doing everything possibly right that they can do right. This is an outstanding play by Tony Gwyn. I didn't think he was going to get there. The ball would have been fouled, but that's the first big out of this inning. And again, full speed. Doesn't even have time to slow down and doesn't care. Goes right onto the bench and into the wall. One more look at it. An outstanding play.
What a play by Gwyn. So 1 out. And here's Keith Moreland. He takes a strike, 0-1. These fans are on their feet as they roar with every pitch. Curveball, strike 2 call, 0-2 the count. The Cubs are on the rope.
They had a great year, though, Tom.
They've had a great year. Out of play, and you can't say enough about Jimmy Fry, his coaching staff, the fans in Chicago, the backing they had, Dallas Green, the entire organization.
3-18 one time in spring training. 3 wins and 18 losses, and here they are in the 5th game of the National League Championship Series.
And a line drive base hit to right. Gwyn will have to play it on a hop in the Cubs, a team that will never say die. If you take the Cubs out, you've got to knock them out.
Jimmy still got hopes. Jimmy Fry still has hopes.
Ron Say will stand in. The second hit off of Gossage, and Kennedy pointing to Gossage with his arms crossed as if to tell him, hey, that means Garvey is playing behind the runner. Here's Say. A little bit low, 1-0.
If you so desired, you could steal second base off of Gossage, but he doesn't care right now.
And it's 1-1. Don't forget tonight at 9 o'clock Eastern Time, see President Ronald Reagan and Walter Mondale in their first debate here on ABC, which will be moderated by ABC News commentator Barbara Walters. That's tonight, 9 o'clock Eastern Time. Pops him up right side. Garvey is there. And they're down to 1. Well, coming up next is Ripley's Believe It or Not, followed by Hardcastle and McCormick over most of these ABC stations, except right here on the West Coast. Two outs, a man on, and here's Jody Davis. What a series he's had. Homered in the second inning. Third base side, if it's fair, it's trouble. Nettles will let it roll foul, and just foul. So Moreland will come back. Davis will come back. The Padres are down to 1. On their feet as they stand as one here at Jack Murphy Stadium in San Diego. They've waited since 1969. They have never won a thing. Of course, the Cubs have waited since 45, 39 years outside, 1-1 since the last time that they won. Somewhere along the line, it just seems you play that long to play one game. Is it fair? Off the hands. Nettles will go the short way, and then there were none. The Padres have won it all. Padres made that statement with the passing of their owner, Ray Kroc, as you look at Goose Gossage down in the jubilant Padre clubhouse. That R-A-K means Ray A. Kroc, as Steve Garvey has been voted unanimously the most valuable player. Greg Leffert's the only man. He's won the last 2 games here last night and this afternoon. The only man to do that successive days. And a very, very disappointed Jody Davis. The final out coming at 4:08 p.m. October 7th, 1984. We'll be going back down to Tim McCarver in the clubhouse. We'll be back in just a moment.
Absolute bedlam here in the San Diego locker room, as you can well see. Steve Garvey, the most valuable player in the National League Championship Series. I can't say enough about your performance. Another RBI today and 5 last night to put him into it, Steve. Well, thanks, Timmy. Again, this is a team that's had wonderful chemistry. We've always come from behind.
We set a record. We came back down to 1-3 in a row. Great testimony to not only this team, but the organization and great fans. You saw what they were made of, and a special hi to Michael Rose, Christian Whitney. This one's for them. And also testimony to your fine play this year after a sluggish start with the broken wrist last year. It broke your consecutive game string. And, of course, this year with that incredible second half, and now a big National League Championship series. Well, if you believe in yourself, and again, you believe in the physical and mental part that God has given you, you just go out and do everything you can help to allow this team to win. We all put it together. Each day was a different hero, and that's what it's all about. But let's face it, coming back from being 2 games down, I mean, an incredible thing. Only one team had ever done it, and that's the Milwaukee Brewers 2 years ago. We had 3 things going for us. That was the character of this team, coming back to a ballpark on our 10th player. That was our fans. They were worth at least 2 runs a game for us. In what order was that home run that you hit last night as far as your throws in the game? It could very well be the biggest throw in my life because it got us into a 1-game season, and we just took it from there. I like your new hairdo. Congratulations, Steve. Thanks, Timmy. Thanks to all the fans. Steve Garvey, the most valuable player of the National League Championship Series. We'll be back here in the clubhouse at San Diego in just a moment. 2 of the unsung heroes today retired 12 in a row from the 4th through the 7th inning. Craig Lefferts and Dave DeVecchi, and Dave, you were first and look sharp. Oh, this is awesome, Tim. I'll tell you what, I've just got to thank the good Lord for the ability to play here and to be in this fine game. This has been great. It's been a team effort the whole way. Unity has been our motto throughout the entire season. Team Pods is what we call it, and that's exactly what it was today. And unity was necessary when you were down 2 games to none, even though you were coming back home.
Well, yeah, you know, it's been a 25-man effort for us all year, and the 92 wins for the season and the 3 wins here. 25 men did the job to make us win. We didn't win pretty, but we knew how to win, and we did what we could to win. And you were the winning pitcher in last night's ball game. That had to be a big thrill, huh? Oh, I'm so thrilled. You know, winning the game or not, it doesn't matter. I went in, and I got to play, and I did well, and that's what I'm happy about. I'm happy for this bunch of guys, and I think it's the greatest thing in the world right now. Craig Lefferts and Dave DeVecchi, and now one of the big guns, the Goose, with a save in today's game, and you've had a lot of these things, haven't you? Oh, they're never enough, you know. They're always great. They're all sweet, you know, and everybody did a great job. Those guys are so unsung, those little guys, that without them, we wouldn't have been in the ballgame. You appeared to be throwing harder today than you were last night. They got a couple of runs off you last night, and today, bouncing back less than 12 hours later, you appeared to have more velocity. I had those shadows, Tim. Those shadows are great, you know. It's tough to see up there now, and you know, whether I did a good job yesterday, a bad job, turn the page, you know, and today's a new day, and that's the way you got to play this game. And you understood not only that you had to battle back from a 2-0 deficit, but today, even though it was 2-2, you were playing against a ball club that dominated in the daytime this year. Hey, I'll tell you, those guys, I can't say enough about the Chicago Cubs. They are a great ball club. They battled last night. That was one of the best ball games that I have ever watched last night in my life, and I just can't say enough about those guys. They battled, and we're just happy we came out on top. We were lucky. Any prognosis for the series? Nope. See you, Detroit. Goose Gossage, congratulations on a job well done all year long. Now let's go back up to the booth to Don Drysdale.
All right, Timmy, thank you very much. And, of course, we'll be going back down to the clubhouses. There is the line score for the Padres. 6 runs, 8 hits, no errors. The Padres left 5. The Cubs, 3 runs, 5 hits, 1 error. They left 4. Lefferts the winner, 2-0 in the series. Sutcliffe took the loss, 1-1, and Gossage with his first save in the series. Just a reminder that Ripley's Believe It or Not will follow right after we go off the air here. And, of course, it'll be Hardcastle and McCormick, except on the West Coast. And a reminder that tonight at 9 o'clock Eastern Time, you can see President Ronald Reagan and Walter Mondale in their first debate here on ABC, which will be moderated by ABC News commentator Barbara Walters. Again, that will be tonight at 9 o'clock Eastern Time, the debate, President Ronald Reagan and Walter Mondale. Right now, let's go back down to the clubhouse and Tim McCarver.
Chub Feeney, the president of the National League, and Joan Kroc, the owner of the San Diego Padres. Is this one of the happiest moments of your life?
Not one of. It is the happiest moment of my life, and I dedicate this happy moment of my life to Ray. May he rest in peace and be forever and ever happy. We love them.
Shep Feeney for the presentation of the National League Trophy.
Okay, congratulations, Joan and Ballard and Dick Williams and all the Padres. I'm just sorry Ray wasn't here for it. Now go get him in the World Series.
Thank you.
Okay.
Help me, Ballard.
The reference is obviously to Ballard Smith, the general manager.
So the action continues and the celebration in the Padre clubhouse, and a reminder that be sure to join ABC Sports tomorrow for another exciting matchup on ABC's Monday Night Football as the San Francisco 49ers take on the New York Giants. That is live 9 o'clock Eastern time, and next Saturday it's the battle of unbeaten teams as the Texas Longhorns face the Oklahoma Sooners live at 3:30 Eastern time. This ABC Sports exclusive has been brought to you by Chevrolet. See today's Chevy, drive today's Chevy, and live today's Chevy. By Bud Light, the best has a taste all its own, satisfying but never filling. And by Mr. Goodwrench and General Motors Parts. Stay tuned for Ripley's Believe It or Not following baseball, except right here on the West Coast. Provided by the Goodyear Tire and Rubber Company. Travel arrangements made through and a promotional fee paid by United Airlines. You're not just flying, you're flying the friendly skies. Once again, the final score. The Padres, the National League champions, 6. The Chicago Cubs, 3.